Hello, you guys, and welcome back to another very special episode of the Biz Builders podcast. Now, I know I say that every time, but this is seriously a very special episode, and I am so excited to share this with you. Now, since 2024 is coming to an end, I thought it would be fun to pull some clips from the top 5 most downloaded episodes from 2024. And as I was looking at the stats and looking at these episodes, I'm so excited to share these with you because these were seriously some of my favorite episodes to record and to release and to have conversations with you about. Now, 2024 has legit been an amazing year for the podcast. It was the second full year of the podcast, and we managed to publish 57 new episodes. And I say we because I could not pull this off without my amazing editor, Natalie. So thank you, Natalie. The podcast also got a new name and a little rebrand in 2024 to really reflect who it's for and what it's all about. We published the Biz Builders Insider series, which was a series I did on Instagram, and we also pushed them out here onto the podcast. And I interviewed some of the most incredible women. It was amazing, all around mindset, starting a business, offer creation, selling, making money, and confidence, all things I know that are on your mind right now. So enjoy these clips. All of the full episodes are linked in the show notes in case you want to go back and listen to them in their entirety. And I wanted to thank you for being a part of this Biz Builders podcast family. It is truly because of you that I do this, and I appreciate you tuning in, sharing what sticks with you, leaving reviews, and the connections this podcast has brought in 2024. I cannot wait to see what 2025 brings around here. So enjoy these clips, you guys, and Happy New Year. Welcome to the Biz Builders podcast, where we believe building the business of your dreams can change your life. I'm your host, Sandy Patterson, former teacher turned certified life and business coach. After 14 years of teaching, I took a huge leap, left my job, and built 2 successful businesses with no business or sales background. Now I'm living the life of my dreams, and I'm ready to help you do the same. You're in the right spot here if you're ready to dig into not only the strategy of business building, but also the belief in yourself that building a business is possible. You're made for this, and you've got exactly what it takes to create the financial, time, and location freedom you're craving. Over here, we value progress over perfection. We embrace being uncomfortable, and we believe that anything, literally anything you want, is possible for you with the right strategy, mindset, and support. You'll also hear inspiring stories here and, of course, failures of women who are doing the same thing. The whole idea is if she can do it, so can I. Thanks for being here. Let's dive in. This first clip is from episode 48, a new take on productivity. I dropped this one in January, and it is so good, and it is the perfect thing to head into the new year because seriously, I know that we all want to hit the ground running, but we're tired, okay? We're tired of running and we're hustling. And in this episode, I have this whole new take on what productivity means. So enjoy this clip. So let's talk about this idea of productivity and hustle culture and your never-ending to-do list. Am I right? Do you ever feel like sometimes it's this competition too for like who can be busier, who can be more productive, who can accomplish more, who can have more certificates, who can get more? It's just this more. And really, we're chasing this idea that once the list is all done, right, that productivity, once the list is all done, that we'll finally get to relax and we'll have some time to not worry about anything, and we'll have a day or a week or even just an hour to just not worry about all the things on our to-do list because everything will be done, and we'll close the computer and we'll walk away and we'll have this beautiful quality time with our family. Okay, question for you. Has that actually ever happened to you? Have you ever finished everything on your to-do list and then you're like, perfect, I have nothing to think about now. I can just relax. Okay, that never happens. There's always more because the to-do list literally never ends. Literally. I think I say literally a lot, but I really mean that. I really mean it. It never ends, especially in business, especially in teaching, especially in parenting, especially in juggling all of the things that you are juggling and all of those different hats that you are wearing. Your to-do list will never end. And the second that you cross one thing off, 5 more things are going to pop on there. Now, I'm not saying this to discourage you or like, I love me a good to-do list. I do that thing where I write things down that I've already done just so I can cross them off. I get it. But let's think about this for a second, because we're spinning this idea of productivity and what productivity is going to look like for us as we move forward in this new year. Now think about it like this. Think about the laundry, okay? And for whatever reason, laundry doesn't bother me. I don't particularly like doing laundry. I live with 2 young kids and a husband and myself, so there's always laundry. And there's that rare moment where all of the laundry is done. So everything has been placed in the washing machine. We ran the washing machine. We managed to move it over to the dryer. It's all dried. It's all warm and fluffy. We take it out of the dryer. We fold it all and put it all away where it belongs. And there's that moment where there's no laundry in the baskets. There's no laundry in the washing machine. There's no laundry in the dryer. It's all put away. But I'm telling you, 5 seconds later, there's a dirty pair of socks back in the laundry basket. For whatever reason, that does not bother me. Like when you put the dirty socks in the laundry in that empty laundry basket, it doesn't bother me that moment of like, oh, the laundry is all done is gone. Because I just know, right? It's just a fact that there's always going to be laundry coming in because we're always wearing clothes. The boys are playing outside, like things spill, that's just life. Like there's always laundry. So let's think about our to-do list kind of like laundry, and this idea that like there's never ever going to be a moment where it's all done and it's all cleared off and it's done. It's always going to be there. So if we can shift into this idea that the to-do list is always going to be there and that we're chasing this unrealistic expectation of when the list is done, I'll finally get to relax. We begin to sit in this idea, we begin to get more comfortable with this idea that like, okay, it's there. I don't have to finish it all today. I don't have to do it all right now. Like it's just going to be there and it's going to continue on. And if I step away from this for a second, it's okay. It's still going to accumulate, but it's going to be just fine because I have the confidence in myself that I'm going to address it and take care of the essential things. So in the spirit of starting off this new year strong, let's redefine success and our value as far as productivity goes. The next clip is from episode 55, 4 things that catapulted my business forward. I had a friend ask me the most amazing question. She asked, what is it that you did in the beginning of your business that really catapulted your business forward? And so this is a little clip from those 4 things that I did that I attributed to quick success in my online coaching business. So the first thing that I will say that really was a game changer for me as far as my business and my coaching business is the mindset piece. And I know that I talk about this a lot, but I truly, truly believe in it. And I believe that it's something that makes my coaching a lot different than a lot of other business coaches that I have seen, is that I combine the strategy and the mindset. So you literally can't do anything in your business if your mindset is not in check and is not right. So we dig into this a lot. And for me, this was something that really, really catapulted me forward. It was a decision to just stop messing around and to just go and do this and to own my expertise and to show up as the expert and to show up in this space where, maybe I don't know everything, but I'm an expert in this area. I can help you do this. I have something that can help, essentially help change your life. And so the decision to step into that and that doing that mindset work too. And there were a lot of beliefs and habits and thoughts that came from my previous career, right? Like my 9 to 5, my teaching job. There was a lot of baggage that I brought with me into my business. So digging into that baggage, and when I say baggage, I'm talking about things like worthiness. Like, it's okay for me to do something that I absolutely love and that really fulfills me at the end of the day and not have it be so hard and so draining and so depleting on like my soul at the end of the day. Like it's okay. And it's also okay to receive. Like it's okay to receive help. It's okay to receive money. It's okay to receive all of these great things that the universe has in store for me. But I had to really tap into this idea that like I can say those things like, yeah, I'm worthy. Yes, I'm willing to receive. But until I actually started to believe those things, nothing really was working for me. And these were things too that I didn't even think twice about. Like I didn't even know they were a problem. Like I was like, oh, well, I'm doing all the things. Like I'm, posting on social media and I'm, doing the thing. Like I'm sending the emails out. I'm producing the podcast episode every week. Like why is nothing happening? But really the shift in like the worthiness and me stepping into this expert space and just really not caring anymore. Like, and this openness to receive, like to receive, just receive from the universe. Like I said, that these amazing things that are in store for me. It's one thing to say the things, but it's actually another thing to actually believe them. And like I said, I didn't even actually realize that this was a problem until I started digging in with my own coach, right? Because these beliefs are hard to pull up sometimes because they're not in your conscious mind. They're sitting and they're running like on like autopilot in your subconscious mind. So you have to be able, and you have to have guidance on how to like pull them out. So that's the first thing that really catapulted me forward was focusing and prioritizing my mindset, and focusing on and believing in my worthiness to receive, and just this like energy of like, I'm done messing around. Like, let's do this. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is it for me. Like, this is just it. Let's do this. So that was the first thing. Now, the second thing that catapulted me forward, and I remember this time frame too of like, and I just kind of mentioned it, I kind of alluded to it a second ago, but when I had this space of my business, of my coaching business, where I was doing the things, but nothing was really working. So what I did, well, it didn't feel like it was working, but also like, how do you measure success and how do you measure if things are like actually working? That's a whole nother like episode. So we can talk about that later. But I committed during that time to being uncomfortable. And I did a whole podcast episode on being uncomfortable and why it's so important to be uncomfortable. So I will link that in the show notes if you want to go back and listen. But I literally, during that time period, and this was like awful, but well, I say it was awful, but it wasn't actually awful because it catapulted me forward, right? I committed every day to doing something that made me incredibly uncomfortable, like where I was like squirming, where I wanted to throw up a little bit in my mouth, where I wanted to pee my pants a little bit, where I was just like, I'll do anything. Like I'd rather go clean the bathroom than do this. And for me in that time, like in that frame, like that time when I look back at this, the things that were making me really uncomfortable were things like, and these things are silly to me now, but that just goes to show, right? It's all about the growth and the 10X. The things that made me uncomfortable were things like getting on sales calls or talking about my offer, talking about what I had, like basically talking about my services, right? Talking about myself and being like, hey, I'm great. Like, come work with me. Come do this. Like, let's do this. But really, it's putting myself intentionally in those uncomfortable situations that made those things not uncomfortable anymore. So now these things are not uncomfortable to me at all anymore. Now they're just part of like what I do in my business. But I specifically remember that like time frame. It was probably like a couple months. It was probably like a solid 2 months where every day I was like, what am I doing today that is going to make me want to throw up? And obviously it worked because, again, it made all of those things comfortable now. Like now I have no problem. And it actually even spurred this whole thing with my family. Every night I try to ask them, well, I've always done this, but I've always asked them like, okay, you guys, like, how was school today? What was your kind today? Like that's how we word it. What was your kind today? And so, everybody has to say like something kind that they did for somebody else, and then also something kind that somebody did for them and how that made them feel, and all those good things. But then I added to that question because of this, like, what did you do today that was brave? How did you use your brave? Basically, like, how did you get uncomfortable? How did you step outside and do something that's going to push you forward, even if it makes you feel really, really uncomfortable at first, right? So that's become like a standard dinner table question, and it is kind of hard to get it out of my kids, but I'm trying to share with them all of the examples of times that I use my brave, right? And I have to be uncomfortable, and it's just part of growth, and it's part of doing the thing and pushing forward and not letting the fear of doing the uncomfortable thing stop you from the growth, right? Because we know there's growth on the other side of anything that we do that's scary. So that is number 2, getting uncomfortable. The next clip is from episode 80, Launch Debrief, where I tell all about the launch I did of my group program, Biz Builders, over the summer. Now, this was the second year that I had launched this program, and I literally take you behind the scenes in this episode, and I share the good, the bad, the ugly, everything that went well, and everything that flopped with this launch. Enjoy this clip. I have gotten quite a few questions. I've gotten some text messages from some business friends. I've gotten some Voxes from some clients, and they have asked me the same question. So I thought, well, why don't I just do a little debrief here on the podcast, and then I have it captured to come back to, and we can listen to it as we need. So the question that I got quite a bit over the summer was, tell me about your group program launch. Like, how did it go? How did you do it? What happened? Like, essentially, like, how'd you do that? How do you launch? And this was an interesting question for me because I've launched a lot of things alongside clients. And so it was fun for me this year. This was the second year that I ran my signature program, which is the Biz Builders group program. And the whole idea behind this program is that we're bringing women together who are in those beginning phases of building their business to really set up those foundational pieces and also work on the mindset piece that is so essential for business, right? Because if your mindset is not in the right spot, and if you're not able to stay in it when it feels hard and when it feels like things working, or when you get, when these things that inevitably are going to happen, if you cannot stay in it, it's not going to work. So the whole idea behind this program is to work on the strategic, the foundational pieces that need to be put in place, plus the mindset work that comes with it. And then the also other big part of this program is the community piece. It's bringing women together in a space that feels very, very non-threatening, I guess would be the word for it. I think a lot of times when we start businesses, we look around and we see, and it seems like everybody else has things figured out, and you're like internally wondering, like, how do they all have this figured out? And I have this really dumb question, and I'm scared to ask it, but I don't understand this thing or this piece, or how this certain thing works, or how other people do it. And so there is this beautiful community of the most incredible, amazing, kick-ass women who have come together in this Biz Builder space and who are supporting each other. And it's just been so incredibly humbling. And so I'm just so grateful to be able to support these women in this way, and to also bring them together, because it's not just about me, it's about the group as a whole and the community as a whole, and having a space to come and to feel supported when you are doing these things in the beginning phases of business that feel really, really messy, and they feel uncomfortable and they feel awkward. So that's the whole idea behind the program. And this was my second year launching the program. So last summer, the summer of 23, I did a beta version of the program. And so in this episode today, I'm going to talk through the launch basically, and I'm going to compare it to last year's launch and again, my reasoning for this is, number one, because people were asking, so I know people want to know. Number two, how do I say this? It's hard to tell. Like, a lot of times we see the success. We don't see the failures. We don't see the things that didn't work. We don't hear about, like, when I launched something and nobody signed up. We don't hear about those things. So I kind of want to normalize this beginning part of launching, and these beginning parts of, if you're launching something, whether it's a group program or an offer or a membership, whatever it is, a new product, whatever it is, like, I'd want to normalize that it's not always like, oh my gosh, I had 1,000 people sign up and I made $100,000, or, whatever it is. It's okay to start small and to build. And that's what I'm going to illustrate here. I'm going to just totally like pull back the curtain here and give you everything that I have, everything that I did, everything that I didn't do, and the mindset that I went into this launch with, and my definition of success too, and how that shifted throughout these two launches. So the first year that I launched this program, the reason that I launched it was because I noticed in all of my clients, not all of my clients, but a lot of my clients, these commonalities, like these things we would sit down together on our one-to-one calls with my one-to-one clients. And I would say, okay, what's on your mind right now? What are we going to tackle today? And there were commonalities between the things that we were sitting down and tackling. So I felt like I was saying the same thing over and over, which was totally fine. But I think that the best group programs are born from these commonalities, like from things that you notice everybody needs. And that's why I always recommend, like, get your feet wet first with like one-to-one and working with people one-to-one, or talking with people one-to-one. See what their issues are, see what their problems are, see what they're struggling with, see what they're grappling with, see what they can't figure out. And then once you start to begin to see those commonalities across the board, that's when these great programs can come together and you can bring people together. So I noticed that we were talking about the same things on different calls with different people. So that's why I was like, okay, this is something that needs this could be something. I think we're onto something here. And so let me think here. I don't have any notes in front of me either. I probably should have taken notes, but I'm just going to kind of wing it here. So bear with me. So I see these commonalities, and this was in the summer of 2023. This was probably, let me think back. So this is probably like May of 2023. So we're heading into summer, and I had this idea to like, oh my gosh, what if I created this program for women who are in the beginning phases of business, who are just like starting off, that feel like they're just like getting their feet wet and trying to figure things out, and again, just need a little bit of extra support. So I launched it, and when I launched it in May of 2023, nothing was built out yet. So I want to be very clear about that. I did not build any part of this program out. I literally was just like, I have this idea. Let me put it out into the world and see if anybody would want it before I like put all of this time and effort into building it. So I literally posted, all I did for that 2023 like launch, and I'm using the word launch in air quotes because it wasn't really actually, I guess it was a launch. We could consider it a launch. I just posted some like stories in my Instagram and was like, who would want to join me for this? Like, anybody interested in this? Like, these are what I think this is what I think it's going to be. It would be the beta round. So you would actually get to help me build it. So it'd be really tailored to what you need right now. Who's up for joining us? And I actually ended up, from those Instagram stories, I ended up having 2 people reach out and say, yeah, I'm in. And this little like fun fact about that launch, those 2 women who I literally are dream clients, who I absolutely adore, they both, I know them in real life, like they're friends in real life. So like I see them on a regular basis in real life. And so they reached out and they were like, yeah, I would be totally in for this. And I went into it too, like sharing with them, okay, awesome. Like, just so you know, this isn't built out yet. Like, here's my idea, but this is what I envision it being. The great thing about it too is, and I asked them too, I was like, in exchange for you, like being in this program, obviously like paying for it at a lower price point, I I would need your help. Like I would be looking for your feedback. I would be looking to hear like how things feel, if anything's missing, if it's too much, if it's too little, if it's just right. Hear your thoughts about what is happening and what is being built out. And they were both like, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. So I charged them, I think I charged them somewhere around $600. So it was at that time, I envisioned it being a 6-week program, $600. And it included like weekly modules. So there were videos that they would go through. There was a workbook that they would go through. And then there was also the really juicy part was the group component part. So every week we would meet for an hour and we would dive into, we weren't going to dive in. And this program is built specifically in a specific way. So it wasn't built that where we meet. So like you do a module and then you meet with the group. The group topic never had to do with the module. So it had to do with the mindset. So the modules are more of the are more of the strategy piece. The group sessions are more of the mindset piece. So that was done intentionally so that people eventually, looking ahead, I hoped, and it's working, that people could eventually come into it at any point. So even no matter if you would come in at week 1 or week 4 or week 6, you could still come to the group sessions and not feel like you were lost or behind because it would apply to anybody. The next clip is from episode 82, What's Really Getting in the Way of Your Audience Seeing You as an Authority? And this was a big one because so many of the women that I work with identify themselves as just being a beginner or just starting off. And so in this episode, I literally talk you through how to begin to see yourself as an authority so your audience sees you as the expert as well. We need to start stepping into this identity of I have so much to share. I am the expert. I am the authority. And in this masterclass, that's what I'm actually going to share with you. We're going to get nitty gritty into how to do this, but I'm going to walk you through this today just because again, like I was like so worked up. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so much deeper than just knowing what to say or having this plug and play response or template or having this thing that I can copy and paste in every time that works every time. It doesn't work like that. And it doesn't work like that. I know you know that, but I still get the questions often like, okay, I'm having this conversation, like how many times should I go back and forth before I'm able to like pitch my services? Or how do I guide this conversation? Like what are the words that I say to guide this conversation? Yes, it's part of the words, but part of it is also probably a bigger part of it is your energy too, and how you view yourself. So the question then becomes, how do I start to see myself as an authority and what's getting in the way of that? Because your people want to buy from somebody that is confident and that sees themselves as the authority, not as like this, like, I'm the beginner. I don't know what to say. Like, it's just no, like we're not doing that anymore. We're moving, we're going, and we're seeing ourselves as the expert. So let me walk you through what I've found for every single one of my clients. Once we go through these steps, working in the DMs and speaking in the DMs and even speaking in real life about what you do in your offer, it improves and it becomes so much easier, right? How good does that sound to have a conversation be easy? I even have clients that before we worked through these, they would literally like avoid opening up their phone because they were scared that they were going to have messages and what those messages were going to say. So I've got you. We're going to move you through this and onto the other side of this because I know how powerful it is now to be able to have conversations with people in real life and in the DMs, and to be able to share what I do and how I do it, and to not break a sweat anymore. This was not the case a year ago. So let me just be very, very clear about that, okay? So the first thing, and this is a loaded question, right? And it's gonna this isn't something that like you're gonna answer like immediately. Like you're not gonna be able to be like, oh yeah, I know the answer to that. And if you do think that, if you're like, oh yeah, I can totally answer this question, you're going to dig even deeper. So the first thing is you have to know really, really well what you do. Okay. And this is understanding the transformation that you provide your people. And this is not like a surface level, I help people, like I help this so that, this, like you're like in your Instagram bio, right? This is so much deeper than that. It's looking at all of the people that you've worked with. And I've even sat down with clients and I'm like, okay, let's look at this. Let's look at all of the people that you worked with. And they go, well, Sandy, I haven't worked with anybody yet. And I'm like, no, yes, you have. Like, this can be somebody that not necessarily hired you to work with them to do this transformation, but somebody, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a situation at your work or in your workplace where you've worked somebody through this. Like, there's a reason why you're doing what you do. You didn't just like pull this out of nowhere and say, I'm going to go, do this. Like, I always talk about this. Like, I would never be like, okay, I'm going to go be a mechanic. Like, no, I have no experience with that. I have no background in that. I literally would have no idea what I'm doing. I don't even know how to pop the like hood on my car. Like, no, there's a reason why you do this. And it's either because you've taken yourself through this transformation or you've had experiences, even if they're not like paid, that's my client experiences. You've had experiences doing this before. So there's a reason why. But again, it's so much more than just, I help blank so that they can blank and blank. It's really, really looking at what is transformative. Like, the things that you would like pay money for somebody to fix, right? So it's so much deeper. And there's so many questions that we're going to go over in this masterclass that can really provide more clarity and questions that we can ask ourselves about this transformation. And again, these are things that we're going to sit with for a while and we're going to let marinate, right? This doesn't come really quickly, but once you see it, and it's like, there's no unseeing it, right? Like, you cannot go back. And once you start to recognize the commonalities between all of these situations and what you've been able to do already, that's the transformation. Like, that's what it is that people are going to want to pay for. And then owning that as well, not just like brushing over it like it's no big deal. And I know that we hear this all the time. Like, what's easy for you is not easy for most people, right? Like, what you do really easily is not easy for other people. So we dig into that and how you help people. And once you, again, recognize it and start to own it, like step into it, is like, oh yeah, like I've done this really well, and I can do this for other people. That's when things start to begin to shift. And one of these things too is like, when we talk about understanding your transformation on a really, really deep level, you also have to understand then too, like who your perfect client is, right? Like who this person is that would want this thing. Because if we don't know her, or it could be him, but I'm just going to use the word her. If we don't know her, we don't know what her problems are, what her pain points are, what she's dealing with, what she really, really, really wants. Right? And if we don't know those things, again, we're kind of going in blindly. And you can see why this would cause you to freeze up when somebody asks you a simple question about your business, or even just the simple question like, oh, what do you do? This last clip is from episode 91, How I Get Payment Notifications While I'm in the Pickup Line at School. And this is not what you think. This is not about me sitting around and doing nothing. This is me spilling all the things that happen behind the scenes consistently over time to allow me to get payment notifications all throughout the day when I'm sitting in the pickup line to pick up my kids at school. Enjoy.
I get payment notifications that payments are coming through all the time. Like, I'm in the shower, or I'm having dinner with my family, or last week we were at the pumpkin patch and I get a payment notification. And it's a really, really cool feeling to feel like payments and income is coming in while I'm not actually sitting in front of my computer or actually quote unquote working. Now, I think we see a lot of things on social media that like make it look like, okay, like she's just sitting there in her car and she's getting payment notifications from doing nothing. But that's absolutely not the case. There's obviously a lot of stuff that goes in behind the scenes and things that I'm doing every day to make this happen and to make this possible. And that's what this post was really focused on. It's not about me just sitting here doing nothing and payments are coming through. Like, no, that's not what this is about. This is about the things that are happening on the back end, the things that are happening consistently behind the scenes to allow this type of thing, this income notification thing, to happen on the daily, on the regular, which is so wonderful. So, and I want this for you too. I want you to have this in your coaching business as well. Like, I want you to be getting notifications all the time, all day, every day, while you're sleeping, while you're doing fun things with your family, while you're picking your kids up from school, whatever it is. I want that for you too. So I'm going to talk you through today 5 things that I have done on the back end behind the scenes to allow this to be possible for me. Okay. So the first thing is focusing on setting up recurring income. Now, recurring income is basically, well, it's exactly what it sounds. It's income that comes in, like it's going to come in. I know for a set period of time, it's going to come in at the same time, same amount each month. Now, my coaching clients typically pay me monthly. And I actually prefer this. I know that when you jump into or when you jump into investments or you're investing in something, there's usually also an option to be paid in full. But I actually prefer being paid monthly because it creates this recurring revenue where we're meeting every week, or we're meeting every day, or we're meeting every other week. And I'm getting that notification. So again, it's not that I'm not doing anything. It's that the way that I've set up this payment system to happen. And what that does too is it makes it possible. It makes it a lot of these investments a little more possible for clients that otherwise maybe wouldn't be able to pay in full right off the bat. So they come into my space. They're like, I really want to work with you. Perfect. Let's set up a monthly payment plan. And that can range anywhere from $200 to $700 plus, even more than it can range anywhere. I've even been in spaces where it's 2,000 plus a month. Like, there's no really limit here to how you can do this and how you're charging. That's a whole other conversation. But for the purposes of this, me setting up this recurring income has been a game changer for me because it allows that income to come in monthly and I'm not having to scramble every month, essentially, right?
Thanks for listening, you guys. If you're ready to get your business going and making money and to step into that next level version of you, I would love to support you make that happen through strategy, mindset work, and my Cut the BS style coaching, because it's always better, quicker, and more fun to have someone who's already been through it support you. Shoot me a message over on Instagram with the word ready and we can chat and get your questions answered about coaching and how I can support you. I cannot wait to hear from you.